Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryder, and this is a beginner's guide to Bastion. In this video, we are going to go over basic abilities and playstyles of Bastion, so you can kind of jump into quick play and some competitive play and have an idea of how he works. Keep in mind, in order to master any of the heroes in Overwatch, you kind of have to put in a lot of hours to really understand how they work and the nuances of them. I will cover kind of tips and tricks and strengths and weaknesses a little bit, the nuances of how he works and some of the things to look out for. But at the end of the day, to really master some of these heroes, it will take a lot of practice and a lot of learning how to maneuver with him. He's not the easiest. Anyway, as always, guys, if you like what you see here, please feel free to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. Check the description down below where you will find a link to my Twitch channel where I stream pretty regularly as well. So please, feel free to go on there and check it out because I'm most likely live right now. But anyway, without further ado, let's jump into Bastion. So if you played Overwatch 1, Overwatch 1 Bastion to Overwatch 2 Bastion, he received quite the rework. He's no longer the sit and turret class that he was in Overwatch 1. In Overwatch 2, he got a whole overhaul and the entire setup got changed. So I'm going to go over these, how he works now. So his basic form that he's walking around in, this form right here is his normal configuration recon mode. This mode right here is, you can move, you can walk around in it. You are not the fastest. You have your auto fire, which is your primary fire. Does decent damage, nothing that like knocks your socks off, but it does do enough damage to kind of like tick away. You can aim for headshots for a little bit of extra damage. Obviously, if you do headshots, you're going to do a lot more. So always try to aim for those headshots if you can. His secondary fire is his lobbed grenade. This is a sticky grenade. If you land it onto a enemy player, it will stick to them, causing splash damage to everyone around it and doing pretty decent damage, as you can see, to the target itself. This grenade also is a bouncing grenade. So if you look over here, if you have an enemy that's in the building, you can fire it and it'll bounce in and kaboom. So keep that in mind as well. If you don't want to brave going into a room where an enemy may be, you can just lob that grenade inside and hopefully maybe pick him off if he's low health or something like that, put some pressure in. So those are his main primary abilities. Now his other ability that he has is his tank mode, or as the game calls it, his configuration, Assault. In this mode, if you hit the left shift trigger, I don't know what it is, honestly, for console, I apologize. I play on PC. But when you go into this mode, you will go into the familiar tank mode, and for approximately 5 to 6 seconds, you will be able to drive around in like a little minigun tank. This has a 10-second cooldown, and you are quite a bit slower in this mode, and you are a little bit more vulnerable because you can't get away as easily. So you want to be smart whenever you're using this. But when you activate this, this does a stupid amount of damage, even more if you manage to land headshots. That minigun will absolutely shred a Reinhardt shield, a Sigma shield, any shield. It will devour tanks. It will eat any squishy player at all. You do have to kind of be mid-range. Long range, it kind of works, but it has some drop-off damage and whatnot that doesn't really, like from a distance, you can't really do a whole lot. As you can see here, like if I'm way out here, like it does decent damage, but like it's a little harder to land. So you do want to kind of be mid-range with it, but the tank form is kind of like your mass damage, and whenever you activate it, that's whenever people are going to be the most scared of you. Like people, especially your low elos, your bronze, silvers, your golds, people have a hard time countering Bastion's tank mode because of just the sheer amount of damage that he does in it. If he's not countered properly, he can absolutely carry a team. Anyway, his ultimate ability is his configuration artillery form. In this mode, he will become completely stationary, and he will basically turn into a mortar launcher, allowing you to fire 3 mortar shells at locations of your choosing. these locations can be seen by the enemy team, so you want to kind of be smart about, first off, where you set up. You're going to be completely vulnerable. Think like Junkrat's Riptire. You will be completely immobile. So when you activate it, you'll go like that. You'll have 8 seconds to pick your locations. You can go anywhere on the map. You land, select your spots, boom, 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 and it lands down. It does the most damage from the center point, so you want to have people kind of get caught in the center if you can. It's a good thing to combo this maybe with like a grab, or with a May ult, maybe something like that. Things that can kind of immobilize. Orisa ult is another good one to combo with it. Things like that can kind of like immobilize and keep people in one centralized location. But you can also just throw it on a payload to pull people off of a payload, so that your people can get back, or so that you can clear out the area and maybe get that overtime bar to empty out, stuff like that. But it's a pretty decent ultimate for like control. You're not going to get a huge value out of it unless you combo it, but it is a decent ultimate in and of the same. Now, as far as some strengths and weaknesses with Bastion to worry about as a beginner, strengths, like I already said, tanks do struggle a little bit against Bastion. There are some tanks that do counter him pretty well, but he, like any tank with a shield, is going to have a hard time going up against him, due to the fact that he just shreds through their shield and makes it just pointless. Squishies really have a hard time. Anybody who can't really counteract the damage that he does. So, he's a hit scan. He's considered a hit scan hero. So your Pharahs, your Echoes, your airborne heroes, they do have a little bit of stuff to fear from Bastion, especially in his turret form, because he can fire from a distance into the air and just melt a Pharah out of the sky, or an Echo out of the sky if he's good enough. He's not seen with very high play in the higher ranks, just because he can be countered pretty easily. There are a lot of things that can stop a Bastion. So I mean, you're not going to see him played a lot in the higher ranks, but in the lower ranks, people have a hard time understanding how to handle him. If you find yourself up against a Bastion, the best thing that you can do, if you're a tank, Sigma is a decent counter to Bastion. With his absorption ability, he can absorb a lot of the turret damage if he times it right. And the rock that he launches also stuns Bastion in place, giving your DPS an opportunity to pick him off. Orisa is also a decent counter to Bastion as well because of the javelin spin. You can absorb a lot of his turret fire that way. Roadhog can be a decent counter, but not as strong as the other two, just because he's just a big heavy target, but he can hook Bastion in for an easy kill. So those are a few tanks. As far as DPS, Genji is always a decent counter because he can deflect all of the shots that Bastion fires right back in his face. Reaper, Junkrat, both of those are able to get in and really light up Bastion and drop him before he has a chance to do a whole lot. And then, of course, among your supports, you have Anna, who can sleep dart and purple him, anti-nade him, stuff like that. So, there are a lot of things that can counteract Bastion if you end up facing him. But if you are choosing to play Bastion, just keep in mind you have a lot of threats that can take you off, and your team kind of has to work around you. So this game focuses around counterplay. If you notice that you're getting focused, or you notice that you're getting countered hard, you may want to think about swapping off to counteract. But anyway, that is your beginner's guide to Bastion. If you guys like to see here, like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.